Hello, Cambridge, and welcome to another rousing episode of Fresh Ideas from Whole Foods Market. So, we got a really great show in store for you tonight. I'm Matt, I'm your host, Matt Keller, Marketing and Community Liaison for the Cambridge and Somerville locations. And then we have our guest star. This is Kati Poulin. Kati, welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much.
What's your position at Whole Foods? What do you do and which store do you work at?
So I'm the associate team leader for the Whole Body department at the River Street store. And Whole Body is the department where we sell all of the amazing supplements, vitamins, minerals. We sell clean body care and lifestyle products as well, like clothing from great companies and candles and those sorts of things.
Awesome.
And makeup.
And makeup.
Yes.
It always
The fun
smells
stuff.
really
Beautiful
good
makeup.
over there.
Yes, good clean stuff.
Yes.
It does
Clean
smell
stuff.
good.
It does. It always smells good. And then, of course, we have Dina Charrington.
everybody.
She's our marketing specialist for the stores and also our favorite producer. Thank you, Dina.
Thank you so much.
And becoming a star.
Well,
Really?
you're already a star, Matt.
So with this show, what are we doing, Dina? So for this month, we're focusing on Feed Your Resolution.
Yay.
How exciting. So we're going to focus on starting your year off healthfully, and we're going to talk about real food. Whole Foods is all about real food.
Yes.
Ah, delicious. Real food, fresh, healthful food that we prepare together, that we make in smaller batches, that we get locally.
Food that you can share with your family and
Yeah.
your friends and
And that we have fun with.
yes.
And then we also have a really fun contest
Oh,
where you
cool.
can win $200 of CCTV classes.
It's really
Whoa!
cool.
That is-
$200. So all you have to do
Worth
is
it.
hashtag Feed Your Resolution and then tag on Instagram Whole Foods Market Cambridge or Whole Foods Market Somerville. And look, Feed Your Resolution.
Hey, look
We're
at
gonna
that.
keep flashing this at you. Oh, sorry, Katie. It's okay.
That's okay.
But anyway, all right.
All right.
That was fun.
Awesome.
Yes, so let's go into what we're going to be talking about in the show, and then we'll just, we'll go from there. It'll be really fun. So, Feed Your Resolution, talking about whole body with Katie.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about looking at your health from a holistic perspective, which I want to talk to you more about. Talk about exercise, which it's January, so everything's all about
Yes,
exercise.
that's right.
Sleep, getting back on a healthy sleep schedule, stress support, and the foods we eat, especially after December, because that's tough.
Absolutely.
And November too.
And, well, yeah,
Yeah,
November
so-
really leads
And
into that.
actually, let's include Halloween as well.
November,
We might
yes.
as well
All the way
just
back.
October
call
is
it.
the gateway month
Yes.
to all
It
of
is.
that right there. All right. So, do you want to go over any of those things first, or do you just want to go right into flax and chia? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, so basically, we like to kind of look at health from a holistic point of view. So as far as exercise goes, it's important to start slow. If you haven't been exercising for a while, we just talked about those 3 months at the end
Tell
of the
me
year
about
when
it.
things just really slow down physically, but kind of speed up. It's really stressful. There's a lot to
Right.
buy, a lot to do, a lot of people to see, a lot of food to eat. So it's important to start your exercise regime slowly. Start walking, get into it slowly, try yoga, things like that. It's important too to manage your stress this time of year because we're coming off of the holidays, but there's still a lot going on. We're trying to make these New Year resolutions.
Right.
But it's important to be gentle with yourself. So managing your stress with meditation or just relaxing with music, something to help you kind of wind down is really important this time of year.
Okay. All good ideas.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
As far as food goes, another kind of approach, being gentle with yourself, the idea of adding healthful foods this time of year rather than trying to restrict so much. So a lot of people try to cut sugar,
everything
cut
out
dairy,
right
cut
away.
everything.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard standard to hold yourself to, and that's why a lot of people can give up or feel bad about themselves. So it's important, I think, to try to add healthy foods rather than take away the bad foods.
That's a positive
Yeah.
approach.
It is.
It's like saying yes instead of saying no.
Talk about
Absolutely.
feeding your resolution.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, what are some foods that we can introduce into our diets? Like, what are some really
Yeah.
great steps so we can?
Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about a couple of superfoods that are really easy to use and a great way to pack in a bunch of nutrients into your day really easily. So starting out, so what we have here is chia and flax. Some people might be familiar with them. Some people may not be as familiar.
Okay.
But they're similar nutritionally. They're both packed with protein, actually. A lot of people don't know that and don't think to look to seeds and nuts for protein, but these seeds have quite a bit of protein.
Yeah, lots of protein.
And they're so teeny, and
I
yet
know,
they're so
how
like
do they get all
full
that
of good stuff.
protein in there?
Yes. Also lots of fiber, which is really
Fiber.
important. Yep. And micronutrients, a lot of antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, those sorts of things.
Okay. So I see white chia and black chia here. What's the difference, or is there?
So it's kind of cool. There's no nutritional difference, but they grow separately, so a lot of companies package them separately, so you can use them for different things. Like if you're making a chocolate pudding, you might want to use the black seeds. If you're making a vanilla pudding, you would use the white. Something just kind of aesthetically.
So aesthetics.
Cool.
Yeah.
I never knew that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, so I guess we can go into the flaxseed now. We can kind
sure.
of get into the specifics. So flax, the most important thing about flax is that you need to eat it ground, or else you won't really absorb a lot of that nutrition in there.
Oh, okay.
The seeds are so well protected that they'll just go right through, so it's important to grind them. You can buy them whole or ground. We have a couple examples here. We sell finely ground or coarsely ground for a different kind of texture.
Okay.
But if you buy them whole, it's important to grind them before you use them. You can do it in like a little coffee grinder and have some freshly ground flax. But you need to store ground flax in the refrigerator or better yet, the freezer, because those oils that are open in the seeds will deteriorate faster if it's
Right,
not,
and not
in
be
the
good.
refrigerator.
Those are
Exactly.
great
After a while.
tips.
No, that's a really good
Yeah.
tip. And I always wondered why the flax oil was like in the cooler when you go to Whole Foods. There's always you know,
Yeah.
that like cooler there with all the and what is it? What's in there?
Probiotics,
Probiotics,
fish
yeah.
oils, yeah.
And so
Oils
all
are
the
very
oils that can-
delicate, so
Okay.
they need to be refrigerated.
That makes sense. Good.
Yeah.
So not even just the oil, but the ground flax too. You want to keep refrigerated.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
And flax is good for baking too, right?
Yeah, flax can be used as an egg replacer in baking.
Really?
Yeah, which is really
Wow.
cool.
How do you do that?
Yeah, so if you're looking to avoid eggs, you can just use a tablespoon of the ground flax with 3 tablespoons of water.
Wow.
Mix it up, set it aside for a few minutes while you do some other things for your baking recipe.
Okay.
And then it kind of sets a little bit and becomes like a binder, like an egg.
It's like an instant
great-
egg.
What
Yeah.
a great
It's not
idea.
an egg.
So if you're out of eggs one day and you have some flax, you're all set.
Yep.
You're not really out of eggs at all.
That's right.
Exactly.
Flax eggs.
So flax is great to add to, I like to add it into oatmeal. You can add it to all kinds of things, smoothies, banana bread, for example. And we
Ooh,
have a really
banana
nice
bread.
recipe here.
Should we
I have
banana
a
bread featuring
question
flax.
though about flax. Could you add it to, like, if you were breading something, you know, like like a chicken cutlet, or could you put it in
You
a
probably
breading?
could. It's not as dry as breadcrumbs because it does have those
you could add it
fresh
for some
oils, but
extra-
you could boost
extra.
the nutrition of your
That's
breaded
pretty neat.
chicken.
I've never thought of that. And
Just
thinking of
ask.
eggs,
Dana's
I was
got all
just
the great
thinking of like
ideas.
Scotch eggs and then like a flax crusted Scotch egg. Who
What is
knew?
that? I don't
Who
know what
knew?
that is.
A Scotch egg?
No.
Oh,
Yes.
they're the okay. So here we go. This is terrible for the feed your resolution, but they're eggs that are surrounded by usually it's sausage, but in it you can use like almost anything, and then they're breaded and deep fried. So when you cut them open, then the egg yolk just like drips.
Wow.
That's how I
wow.
feed.
So add
That's how I
flax
introduce
to that.
flax to my diet.
Well,
right there.
that's one way of saying yes for the new year.
It really is. Yes, I love saying yes. But anyway, but we can talk about what's some of your favorite recipes with flax.
So I like to use it in banana bread. So we have this great recipe here that's a cashew banana bread. So it's completely egg free, which is great for
Okay.
resolutions. And it features really rich cashew flavor as well.
All right, well, let's check it out.
Yeah.
All right, here, give me just a second here.
Usually a banana bread kind of girl. This recipe is an irresistible
Molly.
exception. You're gonna mix together all the dry ingredients. So we use whole wheat flour here. We need 1 3/4 cup. ground flaxseed meal. It adds a great texture and some nice healthy fats too. And then 2 teaspoons ground cinnamon, baking powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, ground ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon ground cloves, and a 1/4 teaspoon fine sea salt. And then you'll whisk these all together. Now for the wet ingredients, you'll start with some perfectly ripe bananas. So you'll just mash these up. And then you'll add 2/3 cup cashew milk. If you have never had cashew milk, you must go get some right this minute. The next item is unsweetened applesauce. And then you'll do 3 tablespoons honey. And then 1.5 teaspoons vanilla extract. You just want to stir this together so everything's nice and combined. Now you'll add the dry ingredients to your wet ingredients. I'm going to just use a whisk at first. So once all the flour mixture is mixed in, you'll fold in 2/3 of a cup cashews that have been toasted and chopped. So then you'll just sort of spoon in the batter. Now the loaf will head into the oven for about 50 minutes or until it's deep golden brown. It looks beautiful, but I just want to double check that it's cooked all the way through. That's perfect. A healthy sweet treat to have on constant rotation, cashew banana bread.
How exciting.
Wow.
Yum.
Yum is
good.
right. Like,
Yeah.
like yum and double yum.
I love that. How exciting. Cashew milk.
Yeah.
I
You
know,
must
right?
try it
Let's
right
talk about
away.
cashew milk. Yum. I love cashews anyway.
Me too.
Some people say that cashews are the lobster of nuts. Have you ever heard that?
No.
What?
Wow.
Why is that?
Because they're so
They're so fancy.
like soft and velvety and like fancy. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like kind of sweet, but they're like nutty. Not that lobster is like nutty, but it's kind of nutty in its own way. Anyway, but what a cool recipe. That was fun.
Yeah.
All right.
I
so,
definitely can see adding that to my baking lineup.
yeah. Are you a baker, Dina?
I'm a baker. I love to bake.
I wish I could bake. I add too many things at the last minute, and nothing ever turns out. I'm one of
Well-
those like, oh, maybe I'll do this. It doesn't work.
Well, there's the chemical reaction thing with baking, so
Yeah.
I tend to mostly follow a recipe, but
Okay.
when you start with a good recipe, it's easier. You know.
No, that's true. And you kind of have to follow the recipe, right? See, I
Yes.
think that's
Yeah.
where I go astray.
Well, that's something I like about vegan baking is that it's not quite as strict because the egg and whatever they're not doing all of those
Yes.
Crazy
chemical
things.
reactions.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you can just add, oats if you want to or whatever, and it tends to turn out.
That's cool.
More or
Maybe I'll
less.
try vegan baking.
Well,
Try that. You'd be great at it.
I bet I'm already an expert vegan baker.
I mean,
Thanks, Katie.
sometimes with flax, I'll take out a few tablespoons of flour and I'll add some flax instead, and that seems to not affect. Like if you're making a quick bread, that typically doesn't affect. It still rises okay, and
Yeah,
Works.
that's a good idea to kind of just swap it out.
yeah, boost your nutritional profile.
So many flax tricks tonight.
I know.
Right? Oh.
What can
Anyway,
we
I never
say?
thought I'd know so much about flax.
Now you know so much.
I'm
about
knowing more. That's true. Well, let's talk more about chia. Should we?
Yes.
Chia.
How exciting.
So chia is, like I said, nutritionally similar to flax, but it's very different texturally. So it's actually grown in South and Central America and was supposedly first grown and harvested by the Aztecs. So it's an ancient seed,
Oh, okay.
Wow.
and it's been
That's pretty cool.
popular for centuries.
Right.
So the thing is, the chia seed, the tiny little seed, which you'll see in the video, actually absorbs about 9 times its weight in liquid.
Wow.
Okay.
So when you add water or milk or whatever you're adding, it really gels up and becomes very gelatinous. And that texture can be a little weird for some people, so you have to try it. But it takes a little while to get used to, but it's really good. And it actually will kind of hydrate you from the inside when you soak them,
Oh, wow.
which is cool.
That's really cool.
So it's kind of a cool way to hydrate. A lot of people like to drink chia water before a run or
So
a
they just put
sporting
chia
event.
like in their water? And then-
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. It tastes weird. It's a little slimy going down, but you get used to it.
But good
I don't mind
fiber,
it.
though? So good fiber,
Yeah,
too?
absolutely. Lots of fiber. And they also have a great amount of healthy fats, which I forgot to mention, chia and flax.
Oh, cool.
Omega-3 healthy fats, which is a great plant source for that if people are trying to avoid fish oil or whatever it might be.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's great to know. All these crazy new things, right?
I know.
What a
Things
great
to
way
try.
to feed your resolution.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness, it is.
Feed
and it's,
it.
and it's
Feed your resolution. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, the other thing about chia,
What is
chia
it?
is actually able to be stored kind of in the pantry or, in the cabinet because it's not, the oils are not exposed in the way that they are with ground flax, so that's kind of a leg up for chia.
Yeah, that's cool.
They'll keep
You know
for
what I'm
like
gonna do?
years in the pantry.
Oh, good, because I'll go home and take mine right out of the fridge. I had mine
Yeah,
in the fridge.
that doesn't
I
need to be
made
there.
that. No, I did. I made that assumption. So free up some space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flax.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes. Make room for the flax. in
More
your fridge.
flax. I already have
love
flax
that.
in my fridge.
Well, let's talk about recipes for chia.
Yeah. So a pretty popular recipe is, a million different variations of a chia pudding.
Okay.
So they lend really well to kind of a puddingy texture. In the recipe that we're about to watch, it's the whole chia, but you can actually grind it or you can buy ground chia seeds. Those you would want to keep in the fridge.
Okay.
Because the
Okay.
oils are exposed. But you
And
can
then you
use
don't get that like chia in your teeth like an hour
Yeah.
later.
Exactly.
Or your colleagues at work saying, "Hey, what's that in your
And it's
teeth?"
just like popped up.
Yeah.
That's how it absorbs. Those
Yeah.
those crazy chias.
Yeah, they cling on to any moisture.
Well, here, let's watch a video about chia pudding, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh, how exciting. I love this. All right. Here we go. Ooh.
Like a video game.
I know, it's kind of fun.
So how easy is that? You just throw some chia into a jar.
Yeah, we have a
With-
jar right there.
To the jar with the almond
that-
milk.
Any jar, really, but you could use this jar.
Use that exact jar.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. I like to do some like raw cacao powder in there, so it's a chocolatey pudding.
Oh wow.
And boom,
That
it's
sounds
done.
good. And boom.
So
When I
easy.
saw that chia pudding that they made was like a white chia pudding with black seeds, right?
Yeah.
That
Looks
was kind
kinda
of
cool.
fancy.
Yeah.
It was fancy.
Yeah. What a fancy chia recipe.
And you could use different types of milks, right? I
Yep.
mean, you could use cashew milk
Yep.
if you wanted, or almond milk, or hemp milk.
Yep. Use anything.
Wow,
Yeah.
yum.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's go make some pudding.
Delicious.
I-
Well, we
think
will
that's-
later.
And so easy.
It's really filling. I've actually made chia pudding before, and I find it to be very filling, and it sort of satisfies my sweet tooth.
Yep.
If you put enough stuff, like the cacao powder is really cool. I've tried actually cacao nibs sometimes too,
Oh yeah.
for a little
Those
crunch.
are great. Yeah.
I think chia is cool. I've used chia before as a thickener for like gravy.
Yeah.
I made like a chia gravy. It kind of looks weird, but it tastes really good.
Yeah, because it pretty much takes on the flavor of whatever you
Yeah.
soak it in, because they
So-
don't have much of a flavor on their own.
Yeah, so it's yummy.
The
All
other
right.
thing is with chia, you need to be careful. I was talking to Dean about this earlier. Sometimes in the past I've like just dumped some into a smoothie and it becomes rock hard if you use too many, because it really absorbs and then it's like
Just, like, slides
does
out
not come out.
in the
needs
shape of
room
your
to
blender.
expand
Yeah.
and get gelatinous.
Yes.
Okay, so don't do that,
Use
Cambridge.
sparingly. Follow a recipe or use like a teaspoon to a tablespoon in a smoothie. The
Cool.
tablespoon's probably too much.
Yeah,
Probably
That's
a
a
little too
lot.
much. Yeah.
don't use a tablespoon.
So one of my favorite things, we're gonna go into a recipe for chia jam.
Oh, cool.
This is kind of my specialty at home. I make it all the time. It's really easy. I just buy either frozen fruit or whatever fruit's in season. It's really good with peaches.
Wow.
You just take the fruit, toss it in a pot. I was just talking about measuring, but I don't measure when I make this. Toss it in a pot, heat it up. I add a little honey or agave nectar or some kind of sweetener, a little water, and then bring it to a boil, and then dump in a bunch of chia seeds.
Cool.
Not really. Dump in a good amount.
Yeah.
and let it thicken up, and then you have a delicious jam, and it's
Let's
really
check it
healthy
out.
and so easy, and because it has that perfect texture.
Okay, well, let's check it out. Why not? All right, chia jam. Here we go. And I bet it's jamming music too.
Jam.
That was so cool.
That was awesome.
Yay!
All right, so we're running out of time, but remember our contest, $200 worth of CCTV classes if you hashtag feed your resolution and put it on Instagram
Hi,
and
this is
tag
Kati, the
one of
holistic
us.
nutritionist
And it'll be
at Vital.
super fun. And also, thank you, Katie, so much
Yes,
for coming.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for
I
having
learned
me.